Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and just like you, I'm a master manifester. Um, the name of the channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing. I have not sat down in the setting to do a video like this in a second because I have so much going on in my house and like different moving parts and like projects, and so I carved out a little space to where it should be no mess in the background and you can actually focus on me and not what's happening all around. Also, my beautiful daughter just came to me and said she was in the process of practicing her piccolo and her flute. And she said, "Is it okay? Are you doing something?" And I said that it was fine because I'm like, just shut your door. I'll shut my door and we'll see what happens. So if you hear that in the background, that's just her going at it. I hear it so much I don't even pay attention anymore, but that's what that'll be in the background if you hear that noise. What I'm discussing in this video is breadcrumbing. And the reason why I think this is so important is because when we are accepting breadcrumbs in different aspects of our lives in different places, I think that it carries over to like all aspects of our lives. So while we think we may have something under control in one space, if we're taking less than best treatment in another place, it can still impact the things that we have going on where we think we have it figured out, right? And I don't believe anything is completely figured out, but I do think there are areas to where you get to where you have outgrown certain mindsets and behaviors and you can conduct yourself in that way, right? When people don't fully see your value, it's not just like well, forget them, they don't fully see my value. It's almost like a personal attack on everything that you are, meaning that there's a wholeness that you show up in the space with. And when you have people around you or places or environments that don't fully acknowledge it, that's what I like to call breadcrumbing, because whether or not you realize it, you start to notice that, okay, there's 100% of me, but only 20% gets to come through the door in this environment. Only 30% gets to go through the door over here. Because if I do this, then I'm too much. If I say this, then it's too much. If I'm too honest, then it's too much. And you'll realize that all the way around, it's like, okay, they don't really value me fully because it's so easy to turn people off or to turn them against you in some kind of way. And if you see me looking right there, it's because I have notes. It's because during the week when I'm doing things or I'm working or I'm doing projects or whatever it is I'm doing, I jot notes in my phone. It's because it's a video that I want to get to, but I just don't have the time to at the moment. So but I know how my brain works and I know how quickly it drops thoughts. So I'll take and I'll put it inside of notes here, right? And these are good notes. So I'm definitely going to use them because I like when I can organize things and then bring it to you that way, as opposed to just a stream of consciousness, although that's good too. And that's why some of the audio videos I've been doing have been organized notes, because I was like, I don't look up to par today. I don't have anywhere to record quite well right now today that's neat, but I want to get these ideas out. And so it comes out a little bit more clear. And so when we think about breadcrumbing with money, think about like your value being something that if it's placed in one space, it has a certain dollar sign on it. And if it's put in another place, it has another dollar sign on it. It's like a pack of gum. If you go and buy a pack of gum from, say, Walmart, it'll probably be about 22 or 25 cents, right? For like, the 5-stick pack of gum. If you take that same pack of gum and you bring it to somewhere like the airport, right? That same pack of gum will cost you like $1.29. And like our first inclination is just like, oh God, this is price gouging, right? But literally the gum is saying, you're in a different environment. You're in a different space. Here, they see my full value, if not more value. And that's the same thing that you are. When people see your full value, they don't say that you're asking for too much. They don't say that this is overpriced. You're gouging me for emotional competence. They don't say those sort of things. What they say is that, you know what? I'd be willing to pay this and even more because that's how valuable this particular item, this particular person is to me, right? And then in breadcrumbing environments, the investment will never be reciprocal. So you can acknowledge people's special events and birthdays and do a lot of, gift giving or whatever it is that you do. Give a lot of money and gift certificates, whatever those things are that you might do for other people, right? You can do these things. But when you're being breadcrumbed in an environment, it's never going to be fully reciprocal. And it's almost like it's almost like a mind trick. You'll keep doing the things hoping that you'll get some kind of response from it. So you'll question yourself and say, okay, well, maybe if I did this thing, maybe if I did a little bit more, maybe if I didn't make sure I didn't forget this or forget that or do that. And it's like tricking yourself into believing that the more you do or the more you give or the more you sacrifice, that people, if they just finally saw it, then their environment will respond differently to me. But they're not going to see it. And even if they do, they're going to only give you a little bit of the value of what you've been given out. And it's not going to be the full value. I say this all the time: when you go out of your way for other people and you do things that are outside of the norm of what you have to do in your life, and you put yourself in a position to do that, you would be hard pressed to think that they're going to do that in return. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I think we have to get to the point where we allow people and places and environments to be exactly what they are, and just be sure that we're seeing it for what it is. Because the problem comes in is when we're not seeing it for what it is. And when we're not seeing it for what it is, we have all these lofty expectations and then get mad when there's a letdown, right? And also too, the neighbors have some very loud dogs. Like, they bark at everybody. Anybody who's walking a dog, anybody who's walking down the street just jogging or anything, they bark like it's no end. And I'm like, lady, how do you not know that these dogs are aggressive? It's insane. Nonetheless, if you hear that, that's the dogs across the street in the background just going at it, right? And then action is everything. Sometimes we wait for people to do this reciprocation or to check on us in a certain way or to show up for us in a certain way. And the hard truth is that they don't care. That's what I have. The hard truth is that they don't care. And like, it gives you a small glimpse into like what actual breadcrumbing is. It's like you're waiting on that little text message. You're waiting on that little phone call. You're waiting for somebody to acknowledge something that you've done. You're waiting. That waiting energy is how comfortable we become sometimes with being breadcrumbed. And I know it's so easy to see this in relationships because there's a lot of videos out there about relationships. And when you're with the wrong guy or the wrong girl, they'll, give you a little bit of attention and pull it back, blah, blah, blah. But this is the same thing across the board. I can honestly think about environments that I have worked in and been in to where I look back now and I think like the time and energy that I spent trying to get these people to see me and notice the work that I was doing and value that because it was good work and I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And then to walk in another environment and people just like rolling out the red carpet. You ain't got to prove nothing. We already know you're great. You're good. You're good. We don't need to bother you. You're good. And it's just like, dang. It really puts a perspective on how much breadcrumbing you were putting up with just to be seen or acknowledged or noticed or just to, and I think about this sometimes in like friend groups and like connections of environments with people. Have you been in an environment before? And I'll say this, to where there's always a question of whether or not people actually like you. There's always a question of whether or not they actually care. There's always a question of whether or not they're actually a good fit for your life. And the reason why you're questioning, a lot of people think, oh, it's because I'm overthinking things. Maybe. But the reason why it's even a question for many people who have, done a lot of emotional work and expanded their horizon when it comes to self awareness and all. The reason why that question is there is because a lot of times we hold on to these groups that are outside of the areas in which we've grown. And in doing that, we're constantly questioning the validity of our presence in that environment, right? You're like, are they saying this? Are they talking about me? And the thing about it is, yes, they're probably talking about you behind your back. You've already heard somebody tell you that. Yes, they probably don't like you. Yes, they don't value you. Yes, they're always trying to minimize the things that you've done. And when you think about it, the juxtaposition of being in an environment where people actually like you, where they actually want to hear about things that you're working on, or where you actually want to hear about what they're doing, like it's reciprocal and you're doing the effort they're doing, but it's not even efforting. It's like a quiet reverence of the level at which, you operate. And you compare it to this other environment, you're just like, this is really a breadcrumbing environment. It's always like, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Does this person like me? Are they thinking I'm giving them the cold shoulder? Did they give me the cold shoulder? And you realize that you don't have to do it. You realize that you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it because it is a large part of your comfort with being breadcrumbed in life. And I can honestly say this is a lot with family units, because in family units, people have this expectation that you all will be connected whether or not they treat you a certain way or not. And this is going on since the beginning of time. It's like, well, we're blood related, or we are connected, or we were raised together, or whatever. So I can treat you and approach you how I want to. I can say things to you that I wouldn't normally say to other people. I can ignore you, or either I can pretend like I don't see you. I can do all these things. And well, we're family. Either you're going to come around, that is such a common thing. And what it does is it conditions you to be breadcrumbed for your value. It conditions you to put up with people just trickling out a little bit. Oh, I love you twice a year or something like that, or either holding back this and that. And sometimes I can honestly say this, some environments are just tainted. The people, you never really learn how to have a solid emotional connection, and for whatever reason it doesn't work. And what people do is pretend and just connect to get together. And that's why I say in a previous video how I, let a couple of people go in my space in my life, because I was like, we were really just putting up with each other. And that's what breadcrumbing conditioning does. It puts you in a mindset of being put up with and then putting up with other people. And that's not acceptable for where you're headed. It's just not, right? And one day, like I said to myself, the epiphany will hit you that it won't matter who the people, places, or the persons are. It'll hit you like a ton of bricks that it is not good enough for you. It is not good enough for you to be in the environment. It's just like, what is occurring here is just not good enough. And you have to feel okay with saying that. You got to be comfortable with accepting that some environments, some people, some places, it's just not good enough. Like if there's an environment where you always have to be the initiator of something that's, oh, let me reach out to this person. You always have to reach out, or they'll think, oh, you're acting funny, but it's always on you. The pressure is always on you to be the person that reaches out, instead of someone saying, I was thinking about you and your girls. I was hoping y'all were okay. No need to talk. I just wanted to check in with you. Like the responsibility will always be on you. You realize you was like, I don't have to do that. Like there's a whole nother group of people that I hang around that I don't have to do that with. And it's liberating. It's freeing, because you realize that some environments are contaminated, and no matter how much trauma bonding people do, you don't have to buy into it, because it's just breadcrumbing. They're breadcrumbing you, they're breadcrumbing each other, and it's almost like an undercurrent of lack of appreciation for the whole person that's standing in front of you. Another way that this shows up is super common that I've noticed in many environments, and I go to another environment where it just flows freely, is people holding back compliments. And I'm not talking about compliments on your looks, but that could be one thing, right? And like, because have you ever been in a place to where you feel a certain way about yourself, and you already know you feel it or whatever, and you get around a certain group of people and you weren't even looking for it, and they're just like, oh my God, you are gorgeous, you are this, you have goddess energy, and you're just like, oh, and like the compliments are hitting you upside your head. Oh my God, you accomplished that, blah blah blah, and you are reciprocating, and it's just like this energy is just flowing back and forth, and you're just like, wow, that was so easy, it was so nice, right? But then you've been in environments too to where you walk in or you have a certain accomplishment you had or a certain thing going on, and you can tell people, I think what you did is so amazing. You can donate to their causes. You can send them letters in the mail of all the wonderful things that you think they're doing, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And then when it comes to compliments related to what you're doing and in your life, it's being held back. Why or whatever it's being held back, I don't know. But maybe you are too. But sometimes it's just not the environment for that. And I think that is okay, right? A lot of times what we don't understand is that even when we sit in places where we're not being valued and we're being breadcrumbed, we think that our presence and somehow showing up in a different way is going to change that. But I don't feel like it does. I feel like when you're in a space where people are willing to kind of like trickle out the appreciation for you and trickle out the care and the attention for you, or one of my biggest things too is like, when you don't feel comfortable in a space because the trust is not there, the connection is not fully there, and you know if you say something to this person, it's going to go this place, it's going to go that place, it's going to go over there, and like almost people are waiting for you to fail, they're waiting for you to fall off, they're waiting for things not to go right in your life. It's like you're literally breadcrumbing your value into something that is not being put in its appropriate place. It's like you're the pack of bubble gum, you know? It's like you're 25 cents in Walmart as opposed to being $1.29 at the airport. You want to be the 129 pack of gum. I don't care if anybody say that's too expensive for a pack of gum. You're not too expensive. You know, how much do you value and need what I have to offer? Are you going to sit there with like, you know, some food you ate and a bad taste in your mouth? Or are you going to go ahead and pay the $1.29 for the gum because you value your mouth and your breath and all that feeling fresh more than you value that extra $1 that you're spending there? It's like when people start weighing your value like that, you have to understand that that is a deep form of breadcrumbing. And if we're taking it over here, we're taking it over there. And sometimes we don't notice that we're doing that. And a lot of times I've noticed this with something too, like if you go out of your way to look nice for an event or to show up in a certain way and you come through the door and it's not that you're looking for the compliments, it's not that you're looking for people and people just act like, you know, oh, or they'll do things like that. Oh, that's cute. It's like one item on you. And you're like, I'm sorry. The whole thing is together. Just let the whole thing be together. And they'll be like, oh, like that little hair bow is cute. Where'd you get that from? Girl, the whole thing is working. Just, you know, let's stop playing games. And you know, you're able to tell them the same thing too. You're just like, well, you look really nice. I love that from head to toe. And I do this all the time when I work in places and stuff too. I always make sure that I tell people, oh, you look really nice today, whatever, because I always want people to know that I am also paying attention and I'm also willing to give out love and appreciation to other people. I was walking around a building the other day and one of the ladies that worked there, she was like, that combination of colors look really pretty on you. And I was like, thank you so much. And I was like, you know what? And I'm not saying this just because you told me that. I was like, yours do too. I was like, every piece of that outfit is put together. And she went, oh, you think so? Thank you. That's a lot coming from you. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And so it was just it's just a reciprocation that you'll feel when you're around the right people, where it's not necessary to breadcrumb. Insecurities make people breadcrumb you. They don't want to feel like they're giving you more attention or more what's due to you or more value than they feel valuable about themselves. So the more they give it out to you, like you'll notice this, a lot of people can do it from afar. They can give it out to people that's nowhere in the vicinity of them and talk about how amazing, how beautiful, and how great, and how accomplished, and how successful. But they have a hard time when people are right next to them. It's like that's just too much. And so they almost want to show you you're not as great as this person over here or whatever. And another thing is, this is another example of it, customer service and all that kind of stuff, because this video is running longer than what I thought, but it's all good. I was in a store the other day, Whole Foods, and I was in an exceptionally great mood for whatever reason. And so I picked up a couple of items. Oh, it's because I was learning how to do some type of new meal and I was going to buy the ingredients for it. And I was like, oh, this is going to come out good. Because, you know, cabbage is having a time right now on the internet. It's having its day. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that cabbage recipe. But I've always eaten cabbage, but I've mostly only fried it. So having it in different versions. And I've had the one where they have like the smoked meat in it when you have it with rice and stuff growing up. But I was like, oh yeah. And so I've been doing all kinds of things with cabbage. So I was going to get those ingredients. And when I walked past the registers, I saw two ladies who were ready for checking out. But like as I walked by, they kind of like started talking to each other, and like their counters were empty. And I said, well, they seem busy, whatever. So I kept going, and I was on my way to the self-checkout anyway. But then I passed the last register, and I saw a girl sitting there behind the register with no customers. And I was like, oh, get out of your little hermit shell. Just go through the register where there's an actual person there. Right? So I go through, and I put the stuff down, and like she didn't even look up at me. She started doing this with her fingernails. She was like, oh, hi. No, she didn't even say hi. She was like, oh. And then she just started picking up. I was like, you know what? Yes, okay. I'm going to go to self-checkout right over here. And as I walked away, her face was like, I'm like, I am in a great mood. I am going to go home and cook this amazing little dish. I don't have to get either one of my daughters. One of them is deep into college, and she's doing all the college things. And the other one is at a football game doing all of the high school things. And I was like, I can go home and relax, and like nobody's going to be there but the little kitty. But nobody's going to be there. And, I don't want your energy of breadcrumbing me customer service to ride off into my day. I was like, I'm in an excellent mood. I can be an excellent customer service cashier for myself. I don't want you breadcrumbing me and acting like you're doing me a favor. Wonder why the self-checkout things are full and it's three of y'all standing here with nobody to check out. And the first thing people will do is say, oh, they aren't giving me any hours. I wonder why. Because none of y'all seem like you want to be here. And this is Whole Foods. The food ain't cheap, And so that's an example of me deciding that I'm not going to put up with it anywhere. It's like, nah, this service is bad. I'm good. And I did it with a smile, just as happy and as free and just as joyful. No big deal. Because you realize that people don't have to participate in your joy. They don't have to participate in your accomplishments. They don't have to participate in your life. They don't have to show up for you. They don't have to give you anything. They don't have to give you phone calls. They don't have to text you. They don't have to check on you. They don't have to do nothing. But what you need not do is expect more than what they're willing to give. And you also shouldn't get all bent out of shape when people are not showing up for you in the way that you think that they should. Because that's a waste of your time and energy, right? And last thing I'll close out with this is, I've done this at several establishments, by the way, and it's never any hard feelings. I usually, like if I see somebody who look like they don't want to work, I'm like, I'm not walking into that. And I'm perfectly okay with it. It's because it's like, why would I walk into breadcrumbs? Why would I walk into somebody doing that? Oh, and this is another thing, and this is even relationship wise. I, met somebody out and about, and they were like, oh, give me your number. Can I have your number, Bob? Like, the whole meeting people in public romance thing, which is whatever. Something that I don't even know how to wrap my head around it because I feel exhausted in that space. Because I don't do that world. I don't really date because it's just, and if I give myself completely to a situation and it winds up being not what I expected it to be, it's really exhausting to me. So I was like, okay, seems like a nice guy, whatever, working out at the park. I was out there too. And for whatever reason, this person started texting me, like just texting nonstop or whatever. And I was like, do I seem like the kind of person that just want to be texted? You need to say, want to go do this, want to go do that. You need to pick up the phone and actually call. Like, these are really basic things. So like, I was like, I'm not interested in this connection. And my daughters think I'm funny because I'm perfectly okay and well within my rights to do that. I don't want to tell somebody, this is what I expect. I have no expectations of you. Just met you, don't know you. But I know that I don't want to talk to anybody who breadcrumbs people like that. It's like, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Why are you texting me? Like, what is this for? You can't get to know people over text messages. You can't make real plans. Like, it's no value in it. And it's like, dude, I'm like, it's not going to happen. And so you realize there were so many situations in your life. Now, that wasn't me 10 years ago. I was like, oh, what's wrong with a text message? But now I know that, there's certain things that are just breadcrumbing. And you have to know where to spot these things at in your everyday environment. And it can happen in work environments. It can happen with friendship relationships, family relationships. It happens with your value in many places, your money, whether or not people hold back accomplishments and say nice things to you just because they like you, whether or not people check on you and all that kind of stuff. I always tell people, challenge yourself to do this. Pull back from everything and everybody that you know. Pull back and see what comes of it. First of all, most of the time you'll see in life that nothing actually changes. That you were putting yourself through mental gymnastics to connect with other people, or to make yourself seem available to other people and all this kind of stuff, or to make yourself seem a certain way. And it never mattered in the first place, because a lot of people have made up their mind about exactly who you are and what you do. Anyway, I hope you like my videos. Like, subscribe, and share. I don't usually say that, but for whatever reason, it was on the top of my head today. And watch some of those other new videos that I put out. They're really affirmation-like, but it's like, you know, just whenever I come up with a topic, I start writing on it, and I'm like, this would have been one that I would have did that on, but for whatever reason, I wanted to do it in person because I felt like it. And it's been a minute since I sat and did an actual sit-down video. And that's all. And do this. If you made it to the end of this video, put a little money sign emoji in there for your value, right? Because your value can't be breadcrumbed. And I was going to say this, a little money sign emoji, or either a little loaf of bread, but I don't know if there's a loaf of bread emoji. There could be, there could not be. I don't really know. I don't speak emoji language, but I do use them sometimes, but I don't know all of them. Anyway, that's all I had to share. I got some amazing new tea. Somebody had it, and I was like, oh, this is good. It's called Harney & Sons, Harney. This is the best tasting tea. It's creamy. It's got, like, I don't know what's in it. Bergamot, I don't know, vanilla, something's in it. It's amazing. It's like one of the best teas I've ever had in my life. And when I first tasted, I was like, this tastes like cream soda, but it's even richer. Anyway, and I wound up going and grab my own container. When I got off online, I was like, can I buy this? Usually everything's available. Nonetheless, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't allow yourself to be breadcrumbed. It's not worth it.